Back at it again, baby, and we have one with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Let's dive in.
But you know, when I look at my grandchildren, I am also reminded of why I am a law-abiding, armed, patriotic American. I'm reminded of why I believe in the premise of our Second Amendment when I look at those babies. I'm reminded why our framers put it in our Constitution that in this nation, you are not the second responder, you are the first responder. And that you have an absolute duty and a right to stand up and protect your home from any enemy.
I like what he said there. You're not the second. You are the first responder. Because I've heard individuals say, "Oh, we'll just call the police. They'll take care of it." And I'm like, wait, what? Don't get me wrong. We have some fantastic men and women in our law enforcement, but they respond to tragedies. They don't necessarily prevent them. You don't call the police to just stand outside your home all day, every day, just in case something happened. You call them once something already has happened. So you are your first responder. Not the police. They're second. And oftentimes, where you find yourself in a situation where you may need a firearm, those are devastating and tragic situations where you don't have one. I always say it's better to have it and never need it than to need it and not have it. Because the latter could be catastrophic, obviously, So, yeah, you're your first responder. Protect yourselves. It's in the Second Amendment, baby. Let freedom reign.
Foreign or domestic. And so,
America, baby,
I am here today, much to the chagrin of many of the leftists back home in my state, who thought I should cower and stay home and not come here and continue to protect that right for those law-abiding citizens back home in North Carolina and for the law-abiding citizens of this nation.
Right on. Look at that.
Because here it is. Here it is. Everybody says, what do we do? What do we do? How do we stop this? What do we do? The answer is not simple, but there is a simple starting point. And here it is. Secure our schools. Stop waffling and wavering and acting confused that you don't understand what the problem is. You have defunded the police, derided the police, and you have...
How are you going to defund the police but then expect the police to come and save you? That doesn't even make sense. But that's the logic of some folks. Oh, we're going to defund them. We're going to defund them. But when something tragic happens, we're going to call them. We're going to call them because we gave up all of our firearms. Like, am I right? I'm not stupid, right? I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I'm sitting here trying to understand, and it's just that logic doesn't even make sense. I'm going to give up my firearms, but the people that protect me, I'm going to take the money from them. So, who's going to protect me? No one.
Left our schools, defunded the police, derided the police, and you have left our schools as soft targets. And you continue to do so, and as such, we need to defend and secure our schools. We need to make as much of an investment in securing our children as we do our airports. We need to make as much of an investment in securing our children as we do our banks and our money. And hear me when I say this, leftist politicians in Washington, D.C. We need to make as much of an investment protecting our children as the American people do in protecting you. You spare no expense buying every weapon known to man, buying every metal detector known to man, every modern convenience you have it at your disposal to protect you behind the walls that you live in. But you are bound and determined to leave our children defenseless. And now you are bound and determined to leave the law-abiding patriotic citizens of this nation unarmed and defenseless. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Get your pencils out, lick them, and get ready to write this down. It is not going to happen. We are not going to go off into that good night without standing up for our rights. It's time for the law-abiding American patriot in this nation to stand up and say, hell no, we will not go, and you will not take them, and we will continue to stand strong for what we know is right. We will protect ourselves. We will protect our children. And we will protect the freedoms that God has given us and that has been enshrined in our Constitution. We will not lay down. You hear me when I say this. Hear me when I say this, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and any other leftist, communist, Marxists out there. What I need for you to do is do this. I need for you to take these two fingers, stick them in your ears, and clean the stuff out of them. And hear us all as we say in unison, shall not be infringed, will not be infringed. We will not allow you to strip us of our rights so that you can bring us to our knees, because we know what your machinations are.
We've seen that happen before. We know the results. I don't understand why we continually push for this thing that we've seen done in other nations before. We've watched it happen. And it hasn't, the end result, unsurprisingly, hasn't been good. Some people need to take a closer look at history, I think. Or we just need to be, matter of fact, maybe I'll bring up some videos that, talk about some of this stuff more deeply.
See, we've seen this movie before. We've seen it.
Yep, exactly what I
saw
said.
it in a place called Russia. Mm-hmm. We saw it in a place called Germany. Mm-hmm. We saw it in a place called China.
It's common sense.
We saw it in a place called Cambodia and Vietnam. And we saw it most recently in a place called Venezuela.
Now, that was one that I recently learned about with you guys. I remember seeing that. And yeah, another example of the exact same thing happening. Like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And if we've seen it happen time and time and time again, like, do you think us doing it here is going to be a different result? All right, cool. They take one type of firearm. All right, fine. Some people put a 50-round drum on a pistol, have two of them run inside with the switch on their pistols. Oh, well, now we got to take the handguns. We got to take those too. Oh, but I thought it was just about, no. You know what I mean? So, like, at least in my humble opinion, y'all can let me know in the comment section. I could be wrong, but you could purchase a 50-round drum for a handgun. It looks ridiculous. It looks super odd. This big thing hanging from the bottom of a handgun. I mean, yeah, but it's possible. Now what? So I don't believe in any infringement on the Second Amendment personally, but y'all let me know what you feel in the comment section below.
When in Vietnam, and we saw it most recently in a place called Venezuela, when the people are disarmed and the government have all the guns and all the power, they always become despotic. Well, not in this nation. You will not tap dance on the graves of these children to disarm the people of this nation. In fact, if you put as much energy into doing that as you do with that political tap dance, into securing their schools and shoring them up and stop making excuses, Mike could make a dent on this. So guys, here's what I'm going to leave with you today. Don't be afraid. When the newspaper asked me before I left home, was I coming to the NRA convention? My answer was yes. And the reason why I was going was to defend the rights of law-abiding citizens in my state and across this nation. Because, yes, guys, sir, it's time for us to stand up and push back. The lies that have been told and continue to be told are not only threatening to strip our rights away from us, they are literally causing life to be lost on the streets. See, down in Uvalde, Beto O'Rourke didn't care about those children. He was willing to spit in their faces for political purposes. The news media stands silent When children are killed in Chicago at genocidal rates, they stand silent. But as soon as they take a chance, as soon as they see a chance, take a shot at their political enemies, they're Johnny on the spot and they're right there ready to do it. Well, we need to be bold. We need to stand up because on this side, we have the solutions. And it's time for us to start pushing those solutions. And it starts with protecting our children in our schools. Time for messing around is over, folks. And the time for blaming law-abiding citizens should have never begun. It is time to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. And it's time to look towards those ineffective elected officials who refuse to move and do the right thing, but instead take the easy way out.
Well put together speech there. I agree 100% with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. You know, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, in my estimation. And like I said before, we've watched this experiment happen before to catastrophic ending. So no, I don't want to go down that route. And I even tweeted something out that kind of pertained to this a couple days ago. If you're not following me on Twitter, link is in the description, by the way. But I tweeted out, why do we blame the majority for what the minority do? The majority of people are law-abiding, good citizens, but the minority, the very minute few, do these horrible things, which are horrible and tragic and sad. And, you know, my heart goes out to all of the families that are affected by these situations. But the majority shouldn't suffer for what the minority do. The minority should be punished, not the majority. But y'all let me know what you thought about this in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, or do you disagree? Talk to me in the comment section. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Peace and love. I'm going to see you in the next video too. I'm out.